in this last segment of the show, I want to talk, guys, about all the things that we want to see out of Scorn. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions here. And I would love to hear yours in the comment section down below. All the things that you guys want to see in Scorn, what you're hoping for, your wish list, all of those things. So let's get into it. So, guys, as always, I've got 5 things that I want to see in Scorn. And really, the list could be a lot longer than that, but I'm going to give you the 5 things that I really want to see out of this title. Number 1 is I really want there to be this idea, this concept. This has been something that's been in the making for a long time. I want Scorn and those at Ebb Software to have the idea like, hey, we want to make this the best possible title, but we want to be able to create this into a massive franchise. We want to be able to create this into at least a trilogy, if not longer than that. And so have an idea of, where the direction they want to go in. Maybe leaving Scorn on a big, cliffhanger or something of that nature. I want this to become a long-withstanding franchise, because if Scorn becomes a long-withstanding franchise, guys, being a title like this, which is a little bit different, a grotesque, alien-esque horror game, I think something like this, if it does really well and becomes a long-withstanding franchise, it helps out the horror universe, horror gaming in general, in a major way. So I want there to be this idea where, obviously, focus on Scorn, make it the best possible game, but have plans for the future. At number 2, this is something I really want, guys, but at the same time, I'm okay if it doesn't happen, is this title, we just talked about in the last segment, being within the Alien universe. Something that, obviously, they're being very secretive around Scorn. They're not showing off too much, not giving us much detail about it. They're waiting until we get our hands on the game in October of this year. But I would love to see this title somehow, some way be in the Alien and Prometheus worlds. Whether, they were able to get permission to do that or not, it definitely looks like it is. Could it be something that is, because we're getting Alien Isolation as well as Alien Fireteam Elite on Xbox Game Pass? Scorn's coming to Xbox Game Pass day 1. Is it something that maybe is in that universe? Xbox reached out to Ridley Scott and his team and said, hey, we have this game. We want to make it in the Alien universe and see kind of what they would say about it. I think that there's, the door's cracked open, as we talked about in the last segment. I'm not going to say that it's for sure going to happen. It's much more so a puncher's chance than anything, guys. I really don't think it is going to be this way, and I would be okay with Scorn just standing on its own. Doesn't have to be in the Alien universe, but I think it would be a really cool thing from a narrative perspective. I think people would really be diving so much into it. They said it's a big, like the entire game is a big puzzle waiting to be solved. When you, at the very end, when you solve the puzzle, are you in the Alien universe? Are you in the Prometheus, world? What is it going to be? And that's something that's going to be really interesting as we go. I would love to see it be somehow or another connected in the Alien universe, because I absolutely love Alien. And number 3, I really think it's important, guys, with a title like Scorn coming day 1 Xbox Game Pass, I think it's important that there's multiple ways to connect with this franchise. Obviously, guys, I don't believe that Scorn is going to be, having multiplayer and co-op modes and things of that nature. I would love to see, though, Scorn start as a single player experience, and then it kind of morphs into where you can play cooperatively with your friends, not so much from a campaign perspective, but maybe going up against waves and waves of these alien-like creatures with your friends in different arenas and things of that nature, kind of like Gears of War's Horde mode. It'd be a really interesting kind of ordeal, or you and your friends are solving puzzles completely separate from the campaign and going up against enemies and things of that nature. I think having it where it's a single-player experience is awesome. And, obviously that's going to really create some very tense, intense moments without a doubt. But I think also having it where you can play with your friends eventually, they have the resources working with Xbox here. Obviously, they're focused solely more so on the single player story, I would assume. But it'd be really cool to see other ways that we can connect with this franchise, or I should say hopeful franchise moving forward. At number 4, guys, I'd love to see Ebb Software and Xbox decide to create some DLC for this title. They're talking about this is a puzzle that is just waiting to be solved. After it's done, obviously, guys, a lot of people are going to move on to other games after they beat it a couple of times. But for them to sustain a lot of the player base, I think adding DLC would be absolutely awesome. New ways that you can kind of connect with this story, other areas, who knows? I'm sure there's other things. I mean, this world is probably massive that they could really create so many different ideas and ordeals out of DLC. And so I would love to see some DLC. It would be awesome if there was, some free DLC maybe in there. That would be really awesome. But I think having some DLC or other ways, whether they're updates, things of that nature, that we can continue to play this game for the foreseeable future. And coming in for me, guys, at number 5. Kind of alluded to it a little bit, but I think it would be awesome, guys, to really lure people in. I mean, it's luring people in based on just the Xbox Game Pass, but I think having some free-to-play elements to this game, not even so much like maybe the campaign, but maybe having like co-op modes if they added that later on, maybe having, free-to-play weekends, things of that nature to really get people to at least try the game out. I think that's something that could really help build the fan base, build everything, the lore, build the player count as well. I think that would be really awesome to see some free-to-play elements. Xbox Game Pass, guys, is the best gaming subscription service out there, and it's not even close. It's the Netflix of gaming. I've said this a number of times. So really, I mean, you're playing Scorn for $9.99 a month essentially, or for however long that you actually play the game. It's absolutely awesome. I think that Scorn is going to be something really special, and I think that more and more horror games need to be kind of trying to transcend the space, move us forward. Free-to-play elements definitely help that, because obviously the horror genre is somewhat of a niche genre. It's not as big as the shooting genre, as like Call of Duty and games of that nature, but it's still one that on the cusp, I believe, of being something absolutely massive. And I think that if you have free-to-play elements, it could really help kind of push us along, push us forward as not only Scorn, but the horror gaming universe. Let me know though, guys. What are the things that you want to see out of Scorn? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's have a real conversation about it. And for more Scorn content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.